All right. Once again, a very good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to our webinar on unlocking cloud savings, best practices for cost optimization. My name is Richa, and I'll be your facilitator for today's webinar. Now, today's webinar is all about helping you reduce the cloud cost while maximizing the efficiency. And today, our presenters, Ms. Neha Chalia and Ms. Shikha Attri, will deep dive into the key strategies and practical insights of it. But before deep diving into the topic, I'm excited to share that this is the very first webinar in our cloud cost optimization webinar series. We have lot more planned to cover in the upcoming sessions. Now, as you can see here in the screen, these are the topics we will be covering. These are the topics we would be covering, like unlocking the cloud services, cloud cost optimization, like these topics we would be covering. And to know the more details about it, and you want to know the dates, the timings when this webinar will be there, what we have for you, you can see the QR code over here. Either you can scan the QR code. There is a link to our company page and to the webinar series detailed. You can go through it that. And I'll be also sharing the same into the chat in short. Also, make sure to follow our page and stay tuned for more insightful session in the upcoming months. So now, without further ado, I'm delighted to introduce our speakers. Name is Neha. Neha, stage is all yours. Thank you.
Thank you, Richa. So, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to our webinar. Okay, let me start with a quick question. How many of you use cloud services either personally or professionally? Anyone? Okay, the reality is whether we notice it or not, cloud computing is everywhere. From the apps on our phones to large enterprises, everything runs on the cloud. It offers flexibility, scalability, efficiency, making it a must have for businesses today. But here is the challenge. While cloud adoption is skyrocketing, so is cloud waste. So, studies show that a significant portion of cloud spending is completely wasted because companies often pay for resources they don't even use. And that's exactly what we are here to talk about today. How can we unlock cloud savings and optimize cost effectively? So, welcome to our session on Unlock Cloud Savings. We will explore why cloud cost optimization is critical and how to implement best practices to reduce waste and improve efficiency. Let's begin by looking at what all we will be covering today. Here is the roadmap for today's discussion. First, we will start by understanding why cloud cost optimization is essential. Then we will explore its fundamental principles, followed by right-sizing practices, strategies, and cost optimization tools. Finally, we will wrap up with key takeaways and a Q&A session. So before we get into the technical part, let's quickly introduce ourselves. A little bit about us. My name is Neha Chalia, and I work as a cloud DevOps engineer. I'm passionate about optimizing cloud environments, automating infrastructure, and finding cost-saving opportunities. Along with me is my co-presenter Shikha Adri, who is also an expert in cloud and DevOps solutions. So now that you know who we are, let's take a look at why cloud cost optimization is such an important topic today. To understand, we need to see how fast cloud adoption is growing. Cloud computing has changed the way businesses operate, but have you ever thought about how it all started? So, back in 2006, AWS introduced cloud services, making it possible for businesses to scale without huge upfront investments in hardware. Then, in 2008, Google Cloud entered the market, bringing powerful data and AI capabilities. By 2010, cloud adoption was picking up speed while spending reached around approximately $24 billion as companies realized the benefits of scalability and cost savings. Fast forward to 2015, the cloud was not just for startups anymore. Big enterprises were moving their critical applications, pushing their cloud spending to more than 80 billion. Then in 2019, it became clear that the cloud was no longer an option but a necessity, and spending surged to more than 140 billion. In 2020, COVID-19 forced businesses to go remote overnight, and the cloud played a crucial role in keeping them running, driving spending to more than 150 billion. By 2024, cloud adoption had accelerated significantly, with spending expected to reach more than 600 billion. And here we are today, with cloud spending expected to hit more than 800 billion by 2025. That's the massive growth. But here is the thing, while cloud adoption is booming, so is cloud waste. And that's where things get interesting. Now let's address a critical and often overlooked aspect of cloud usage, that is waste. So, Will, do you know how many cloud spend is wasted? Any guesses?
40%.
Yes. So, according to Flexera State of the Cloud report, a staggering 35% of all cloud spending is wasted. This means over one third of the money organizations spend on cloud resources is not providing any value. So, this is a wake up call for all of us leveraging the cloud. While the cloud offers unmatched scalability and flexibility, it's essential to ensure that our investments are efficient and purposeful. So, the trend of cloud based is only increasing as more companies migrate to the cloud. Let's dive deeper into the trends driving cloud waste in 2024. If we talk about the cloud adoption, 90% of large enterprises relying on cloud infrastructure and only 10% still using traditional setups. This shows that the cloud is no longer optional, it's a necessity for staying competitive. However, this widespread adoption comes with its own set of challenges. Then talking about cloud waste, as we discussed in previous slide, out of the total cloud budget, 35% is categorized as waste. That's more than a third of the allocated budget going unused or underutilized. This highlights the urgent need for better optimization strategies. Finally, the high-level breakdown of different categories where cloud waste is happening. So these numbers paint a clear picture that cloud is transformative, managing and optimizing it effectively is crucial to prevent unnecessary spending. So why is this happening? Let's break down the key reasons behind cloud waste. Now, let's address an important question, why it is so difficult to control cloud costs? Yes, there are several key reasons behind this challenge and we will walk through them one by one. First is lack of visibility. So many organizations struggle to gain a clear picture of their cloud usage. Without proper monitoring tools or reporting, it becomes difficult to identify inefficiencies or track where the money is going, leading to uncontrolled spending. Next is poor budgeting and forecasting. So companies overestimate, underestimate, or fail to accurately predict their cloud cost, which can result in unexpected budget overruns. Dynamic pricing models also play a major role. Cloud providers often use variable pricing based on usage, making it harder to plan expenses with precision. So this can lead to surprises in billing cycles. Let's not forget wasted resources. So idle instances, unused storage, or over-provision capacities are common culprit of unnecessary expenses. So these resources often go unnoticed without proper governance. If we talk about changing workloads, here cloud environments are highly dynamic and workloads frequently change due to business needs, seasonal demands, or scaling strategies. If not managed effectively, rapid fluctuations in workload sizes can lead to over provisioning or under provisioning. That can lead to wastage of the cost and the performance issues. Second as is lack of governance, a lack of a well-defined policies, monitoring, and cost control mechanisms often results in cloud sprawl, where resources are created, but actually they are not efficiently managed. So without governance policies in place, teams may deploy resources without proper approval, leading to unnecessary costs. Last one is inefficient training. So inefficient training of teams can exacerbate all these issues. So without proper knowledge of cloud cost management tools and practices, organizations are more likely to face unnecessary expenses. So together these factors create a perfect storm that makes controlling cloud costs feel overwhelming. But don't worry, later in this presentation, we will explore actionable strategies to address each of these challenges effectively. Now, we have talked about the challenges and causes of cloud waste. So now the question is, what's the solution? The answer lies in cloud cost optimization. So it's not just about cutting costs, but about ensuring that every dollar spent on the cloud is delivering the maximum value for the business. So in the next slide, we will dive into what this process looks like and how it helps organizations tackle inefficiencies while driving better outcomes. So, what exactly is cloud cost optimization? So, it's about reducing unnecessary cloud costs while making sure that businesses still get the best performance and value from their cloud investments. But here is the thing, cloud optimization does not mean just cutting expenses, it means using cloud resources wisely, that ensuring that every dollar spent is actually adding value to their businesses. For example, imagine running a high-end cloud server that barely being used. So instead of paying for extra capacity you don't need that actually you don't need, you can reside it to a smaller, more efficient instance that reduce cost while maintaining performance. Cloud cost optimization focuses on two main things. First, reducing overall cloud spend. This means identifying areas where money is being wasted, like unused storage, idle servers, or unassigned elastic IPs. Second is optimizing resource allocation. So, making sure your workloads are running on the right infrastructure, not over provisioned or underutilized resources. So, think of it like tuning a car engine. You don't just reduce fuel usage randomly. You make sure that engine runs efficiently so you get the best mileage without waste. That's exactly what we aim to do with cloud resources. So to effectively optimize cloud cost, there are four key principles to follow. Let's quickly go through them. First is visibility and monitoring. You can't optimize what you can't see. The first step is gaining complete visibility into cloud usage and spending. Second is eliminating waste. So identifying and removing underutilized resources like idle instances or unnecessary storage helps free up budget for more important needs. Third is efficiency and performance. So cost optimization is not just about reducing spend, it's all about ensuring performance remains high while using resources efficiently. Last one is foster FinOps practices. So bringing finance operations and engineering teams together ensures cost accountability and smarter cloud spending decisions. So these four principles lay the foundation for cost optimization. Now I'll hand over it to Shikha, who will deep dive into right sizing, best practices, and the tools that can help achieve cost savings. So over to you, Shikha.
Thank you, Neha. So, one of the most impactful strategy for cloud cost optimization is right sizing. Right sizing involves analyzing your resource usage and adjusting the size, type, or configuration of resources to match your actual needs. Think of it like finding the right shoe size, not too big, not too small, just right. By following the best practices for right sizing, organization can avoid overpaying for oversized resources while ensuring the workload perform optimally. So now let's move on to the practical steps starting with monitoring utilization, which is the foundation of any right sizing effort. Monitoring utilization is a crucial step in optimizing your cloud resources. So, let's go over the key practices to ensure your resources are used effectively. So, the first one is track resource usage by starting with regularly monitoring CPU, memory, storage, and network uses across all services. This will give you a clear picture how resources are being consumed and highlights resource inefficiencies. Second one is identifying underutilization. While monitoring tools, you can detect idle or underutilized resources like instances running at only 10% capacity of storage volume that aren't being used. Identifying these inefficiency is the first step of optimizing cost. Next one is peak usage insight. Analyze use metrics to understand when demands peak and when resources are underused. Aligning resources with these trends ensure you are not over provisioning during quiet periods or under provisioning during high demands time. Next one is the leverage dashboard. Using centralized dashboards like AWS CloudWatch, Azure Monitor, or GCP Operations Suite to get real-time insight into performance and utilization patterns. This tool simplifying monitoring and make it easier to act on-site. So, let me give you an example. A company running EC2 X large instances found that overall usage which is CPU monitoring memory is less than 20%, then organization can scale down. This instance is too large and save half of the cost for this instance. And further do the same exercise again of monitoring the utilization and adjusting the capacity if required. With a solid monitoring strategy in place, the next step is to use these insights to identify and address inefficiency. So, we will discuss in the next slide. Now, identifying inefficiency in your cloud environment is a crucial step in optimizing cost. So, let's take a closer look at the most common inefficiency and how we can address them effectively. So, the first step is to identify and eliminate unused or unabandoned resources. This could be unattached volume, unused IP addresses, or idle instances that are running but not doing any purpose. Addressing these can immediately reduce unnecessary expenses. Next, we need to resize compute instances based on actual utilization data such as CPU, memory usage. This ensures we are not over provisioning resources which waste money or under provisioning which impacts performance. Storage can be a significant cost driver. By moving infrequently excess data to lower cost storage tiers like AWS S3 Glacier for archival purpose, we can drastically reduce storage expenses without impacting accessibility for active workloads. And finally, it's important to use cost analytics tools to detect irregular billing patterns. This tool can help identify unexpected spike in cost so that you can investigate and resolve them promptly. Once we address this inefficiency like these, the next step is to focus on dynamically scaling resources to manage the fluctuating workloads effectively. So let's explore them. When managing cloud infrastructure, one of the biggest challenging is balancing performance and cost. That's where dynamic scaling comes in. It ensures that resources adjust to its demand in real time, preventing waste and avoiding performance issue. So here you can see in the static infrastructure graph a constant resource allocation throughout the day. No matter the demand, the same number of resources are being used, whether it's a peak hour or low usage time. This approach can lead to over provisioning during low traffic periods where resources are underutilized, wasting money. Now, compare this graph with dynamic infrastructure graph. Are you all noticing how the number of active resources change throughout the day? This is dynamic scaling in action. This system automatically adds more resources during high traffic periods like noon or 3 p.m. and reduce them when demands drop late nights and early mornings. This ensure cost efficiency while maintaining performance. So let's discuss some key points. So the first one is enable auto scaling. Instead of keeping fixed resources all the time, auto scaling adjusts capacity dynamically. When demand rises, it adds instances. When demand drops, it scale down, just like in the second graph. Second one is reduce over provisioning. This graph, the first graph, which is static infrastructure, shows a system that runs at full capacity even when it's not needed. With dynamic scaling, we can avoid this phase by reducing resources during off peak hours while saving cost. Third one is elastic load balancing. Another important aspect its traffic distribution. Load balancer ensure that incoming requests are evenly spread across server, preventing overload of any one resources and maintaining performance. And the last one is review scaling policy regularly. Workload patterns change over time when work or last month may not be optimal today. Regularly reviewing scaling policy ensure resources are allocated based on actual traffic patterns. Here in the static infrastructure often lead to inefficiency while in the dynamic infrastructure ensure cloud resources adapt to actual demands, optimizing both cost and performance. So here, choosing the right size pricing model is one of the most effective ways to optimize cloud storage cost. So let's explore four main options available. So the first one is on-demand pricing. On-demand pricing offers the most flexibility as it charges per second per hour of usage. This is perfect for short-term or unpredictable workload like testing or development environment. However, it comes at higher cost compared to other models. Second one is spot instances. Spot instances are a great way to save costs as it's offering discount up to 90%. These are ideal for non-critical or uninterruptible workloads such as batch processing or big data analytics or testing environment. Third one is reserve instances. Reserve instances allow you to commit 1 or 3 years terms, providing discount up to 75%. This is perfect for workloads that are predictable and steady, such as production databases or always on application server. And the last one is the commitment discount. Commitment discounts are similar to reserve instances where provider offer long-term contracts with saving up to 72%. These are useful for organizations that know their resource requirement over time. By combining this pricing model strategically, using reserve instances for predictable workloads, spot instances for variable workloads, or on demand for flexibility, you can strike the perfect balance between cost optimization and operational flexibility. So far, we discussed about visibility, waste elimination, and efficiency. But cloud optimization is not just a technical process, it's also a financial discipline. That's where FinOps comes in. FinOps is a framework that brings together finance, operation, and engineering teams to optimize cloud spending while maintaining performance. So let's discuss some key points and practices. The first one is budgeting and forecasting. Just like other business expense, cloud costs need a budget. FinOps helps team to set cost limits, forecast future expenses, and prevent overspending by continuously analyzing trends. Second one is tagging and cost allocation. Imagine running multiple projects but not knowing which one consuming the most cloud budget. With proper resource tagging, companies can allocate costs correctly and ensuring that every department or team is accountable for their usage. And the third one is regular cost review and optimization. Cloud environments are dynamic and cost can be spiral if left it's unchecked. Regular cost reviews helps identifying unnecessary spending, find better pricing model like reserved or spot instances and adjust resource accordingly. So, at the end, FinOps is not just about cutting costs, it's about making cloud spending smarter and more strategic. By integrating these practices, organization can achieve a balance between innovation, cost efficiency, and financial accountability. So far, we discussed about the principle of cloud cost optimization and one of the effective strategies is right sizing. So now let's take a look at the real world right sizing example to see how applying these principles can drive significant cost saving. So start by provisioning instances based on initial workloads estimates. So here shown below we have taken M5.2x large with cost of 0.38 per hour. In the next step, we have to do monitor its utilization. Monitor metrics like CPU, memory, and disk utilization to understand the instance performance. Tools like CloudWatch or third-party monitoring tools can be used for tracking utilization. After monitor its utilization, next step is to perform right sizing. Based on monitor data, identify over provision or underutilized instances. So here you can see the example shown switching from M5.2x large reduces to M5.large reduces cost up to 0.15 per hour. After right sizing, review application performance to ensure no degradation in user experience or server equality. By right sizing, significant cost saving can be realized. Here you can see 60% cost reduction, emphasizing the financial benefits of right sizing. So, right sizing is a continuous cycle of optimization, monitoring, and adjustments ensure cloud resources are always cost effective and efficiency. These right sizing examples show how small adjustment can lead to significant cost saving. By right sizing alone isn't enough. We also need some right tools to streamline cost optimization. So now let's explore some of key cost optimization tools that can further enhance efficiency and saving. Here you can see some tools from different cloud providers that help in cost optimization. Each cloud platform offers built-in service to monitor spending, set budget and optimize resource usage. This tool assists in analyzing past usage, predicting future cost, and recommending optimization to improve efficiency. So, we have explored various cost optimization tools that help in monitoring, automating, and optimizing cloud spend. Leveraging these tools effectively ensure that we maximize efficiency and reduce unnecessary cost. So, let's take a step back and summarize the most critical insight from today's session. These key takeaways will help you to ensure your cloud strategy are both cost effective and future ready. So the first one is adopting the of cloud services continues to grow at incredible pace. Business across all the industries are embracing the cloud for its scalability, flexibility, and efficiency, make it essential part of modern operation. However, not all the cloud investments are used wisely. As we saw, 35% of cloud spending goes to waste, primarily due to underutilized resource, mismanagement, and inefficiencies. The inability to monitor and manage resource effectively combined with inefficient governance lead to unnecessary expenses. Visibility and accountability are the key to controlling and optimizing cost. By implementing strategy like right sizing, leveraging spot and reserve instances, and choose the right pricing models, organization can save up to 45% of their cloud's cost. This saving can be reinvested into innovation and growth. So far, the cloud cost optimization is not just a technical necessity, it's a business imperative. By applying these principles and strategy we discussed, organization can unlock the full potential of cloud investment, driving both efficiency and value. So thank you. Over to you, Richa.
Thank you so much, Shikha. Now we are open for the Q&A. Anyone, if they have question, please unmute yourself and ask a question, or you can post it in the chat and our speakers would be answering them for you.
I have a question. So, Shika and Neha, is there any tool available for multi-cloud cost optimization?
Okay, Rajat. Yes, there are third party tools available like Cloud Health by VMware. And if we talk about multi cloud, there is no specific tool available. So, our organization also working on building multi cloud cost optimization tool.
That's great. Thank you.
I have one question. One time you were asking for your instances, and other hand you were talking about dynamic. So which one will be the best option?
Thank you, Rohit. As firstly, it depends on your cloud requirements. Both are best suited for different workloads. If your workload is steady or predictable, you can go to reserve instances to lock in saving. If your workload fluctuate, you can use auto scaling with spot instances or on demand to scale dynamically.
Hi Shika, hi Neha. So I have one more. How frequently should we review and optimize our cloud costs?
Thank you, Prachi. It all depends on your cloud needs basically. So ideally on a weekly or in 15 days basis to catch cost ordinaries early. And if we talk about monthly, You can deep dive as is necessary to analyze trends and long-term usage patterns. You can analyze through that.
Okay, thank you.
Hi, Neha. Hi, Shika. So, how do we determine if an instance is over provisioned and under provisioned?
Thank you, Mayank. Basically, it all depends if your instance is running or not. Like if your instance is running, then we have to check that data for at least 15 days or 1 month. And if your instance is stopped, so look for its historical data. It should be for 15 days or 1 month, because we can't say it's over provision or under provision based on 2 or 3 days utilization of the data. So if I talk about utilization data, then CPU and memory peak time or then that usage is consistently below 40%. So instance is likely over provisioned, and if it's going above 80% frequently, then it's under provision.
Okay.
So any more questions? All right. All right. If you don't have any questions, and after this webinar, if you feel that you have any question or the query, please feel free to drop us an email, and we would be happy to help you out with your questions. Let me post the email IDs into the chat. Here we go. All right. So now this brings to end of this today's webinar. First of all, thank you, our presenters. And secondly, thank you everyone for joining. We hope you find this session insightful, and stay tuned for our next webinar in the series. And don't forget to check out the links for further details. See you next time. Thank you, everyone.